Imagine this. What if, 100 years ago, farmers already had massive machines that could harvest an entire orchard in just minutes, eliminate weeds without a single drop of chemicals, or transform crop waste into new life for the soil? Would the world have entered an age of prosperity much earlier or sunk into unemployment and pollution? In this video, we'll explore if modern agricultural technology had appeared back in the 1920s, what would have happened? In agriculture, harvesting has always been the hardest and most labor-intensive stage. The OE 4.5 FRU Mako is a continuous harvester that uses a precise hydraulic electronic shaking system to knock fruit onto a canopy, then sends it straight onto a sealed conveyor belt and into storage bins without interruption. Thanks to its high chassis and flexible suspension, it can operate even on rough terrain, while the farmer simply sits inside the cabin and controls everything. Try to picture harvesting apples, plums, and pears a century ago. Farmers had to climb ladders, pick fruit one by one, then carry baskets out to horse carts. Loss rates from bruising or dropping could reach 30%. The Revo Palma 4WD apple harvester looks like it came from another planet. With just one operator, it can pick, weigh, and neatly place apples into trays, switching bins in only 20 seconds. Its auto-steering and balancing system allows it to move even in hilly orchards. If the Revo Palma had existed in the 1930s, the US and Europe could have become the fruit factories of the world decades earlier. The apple, pear, and plum export industries, only booming after WW2, might have enriched farmers during the Great Depression itself. Harvesting sweet potatoes or other root crops was always heavy manual work, farmers digging with hoes and shovels, often breaking tubers, damaging crops, and losing a lot. But the Euro Agromat AP160 changed everything. This sweet potato harvester, with an overall width of 1.60 meters and a working width of 1.45 meters, was designed to lift tubers to the surface without damage. It uses two vine-cutting discs with 420 mm diameters, a lifting blade that slides under the ridge to push soil and tubers upward, then transfers them to a vibrating sieve. A hydraulic tilt system keeps the sieve balanced, gently shaking off soil and leaving clean, intact potatoes. If this technology had appeared in the 1930s, harvest productivity could have multiplied, and hunger in many parts of the world might have been reduced. In the 1920s, small tractors were only just emerging, and most farmers still plowed with horses or oxen. But the Schrachey 8D6 Dual, with its two powerful engines and its ability to plow, sow, and harvest, was truly a superwar machine of the fields. Placed on the vast farmlands of the American Midwest, it could have mechanized agriculture half a century earlier. A single Schrachey could do the work of hundreds of farmers, handling plowing, seeding, and harvesting in one continuous cycle. In modern agriculture, fertilizing and field maintenance have always been among the most time-consuming tasks. In the past, farmers had to cut weeds separately, then transport and spread liquid manure over the fields, both exhausting and wasteful. The Braille Mir Motormar made everything simpler. This multi-purpose machine was designed to mow weeds and spread liquid fertilizer at the same time. Equipped with a powerful engine and precise control system, the motor can move easily over uneven terrain, cutting weeds cleanly while distributing fertilizer evenly across the soil. Its anti-clogging spreading system ensures a steady flow, delivering nutrients evenly to the land. As a result, soil fertility improves, crops get the nutrients they need, and yields rise significantly. For farmers, the motor is like an all-in-one assistant, saving time, reducing labor costs, and boosting production efficiency. Easy to operate, easy to maintain. This machine is truly a sustainable solution for modern agriculture, raising yields while staying environmentally friendly. Weeding was one of the most time-consuming tasks in farming. Back then, farmers pulled weeds by hand or cut them with sickles, tiring and far from effective. But the flame-weeding tractor needed only to release controlled jets of fire, burning weeds away without a single drop of herbicide. If this technology had come earlier, humanity might have avoided the massive chemical boom of 20th century agriculture and the toxic legacy of polluted soil, poisoned water, and dangerous diseases. In traditional farming, extracting fiber from plants like cayole or sisal was sweaty, bloody work. Farmers had to scrape the flesh from leaves with knives, dry them, then separate fibers by hand, a slow and damaging process. But the CYL fiber decorticator could change it all. With adjustable rollers and cutting blades, it strips away soft tissue instantly, leaving behind long, strong, uniform fibers. Instead of dozens of farmers working for a week, one machine could finish in just hours. If this machine had existed in 1920, the textile industry would have exploded at least 30 years earlier. Sisal fibers could have become the main material for ropes, sacks, and mats, quickly replacing cotton and flax. Countries like Mexico, Brazil, and India would have risen as global fiber exporters. The entire global textile supply chain would have been rewritten decades in advance. After every harvest, old-time farmers had to burn tons of banana trunks, papaya stalks, or other soft stem plants. The work was not only exhausting, but also polluted the environment with smoke and dust. With the chopped banana tree shredder, things would have been completely different. Using a high-speed rotating blade shaft and a sturdy steel frame, the machine could shred banana trunks as thick as a man's thigh into tiny pieces within seconds. Returned to the fields, this biomass quickly decomposed into rich organic fertilizer for the next crop. If such technology had existed in the 1920s, Eastern agriculture, especially in tropical countries, could have entered the era of sustainable farming half a century earlier. Yields of rice, corn, and vegetables would have surged, thanks to fertile soil, without relying on chemical fertilizers. Composting used to depend heavily on manual labor, farmers shoveling and turning huge piles of manure, a slow and exhausting job that could take months for the compost to decompose evenly. The CMC Street 300, the world's best-selling compost turner, transformed the process. With a 3-meter rotor, a 3.4-meter working width, and the ability to process up to 1,000 cubic meters per hour, it can turn massive piles quickly, evenly, and up to controlled microbial standards. Its compact, road-legal design makes it easy to transport, allowing it to serve multiple farms in a short time. If it had appeared in the 1930s, global agriculture could have entered the recycling age half a century earlier, improving soil fertility and reducing reliance on chemical fertilizers. But it also would have pushed countless farm laborers, whose lives depended on manual composting, out of history much faster. If such demolition and infrastructure technologies had appeared in the 1920s, the world might have entered a completely different era. Cities could have been rebuilt within just a few years. Railroads, bridges, and massive hydroelectric dams would have modernized decades earlier. The economies of the US and Europe might have surged into unstoppable industrial superpowers. But the downsides were alarming. Millions of manual laborers, from construction workers to demolition crews, would have lost their jobs instantly. Billions of tons of cement dust, steel scrap, and industrial waste would have been released early, plunging humanity into an environmental crisis long before we even became aware of the need to protect nature. Even worse, historic European cities like Paris, Rome, and Prague might have been flattened to make way for steel and glass megacities, erasing priceless cultural heritage we still cherish today. Perhaps, in a way, it was a blessing that these massive technologies did not appear too early. It gave humanity more time to learn control, to ensure technology became a tool that serves people rather than a force of destruction. So, what do you think? If those giant steel machines had appeared a century ago, would today's world be brighter, filled with dazzling megacities, or darker, destroyed by pollution and stripped of cultural heritage? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because sometimes, even a simple "what if" can make us look at history through an entirely different lens.